OBS is green. YouTube is green. Twitch is green. Alert 1. Alert 2. Good evening, sports fans. Welcome to the final game of League 1 Season 13. It is bowl season. We have one bowl for you this year, and it is the Sugar Bowl. It's a big bowl. It's in New Orleans at the Superdome, and it is number 6 Syracuse against number 4 Auburn. So, without further ado, we'll take a quick look at the Auburn roster with Coach Spectre, head coach of the 12-1 Syracuse Orange. Coach.
Thank you, Coach Ninja. Got a big Sugar Bowl here as we hope to finish in the top 5. We could with a win here. Auburn actually comes into the game number 2 in the media poll, but low enough in the coaches poll that they missed the BCS ranking with a ranking of 4. They missed the BCS title game. That'll be between USC and Texas. We have number 4 Auburn, led by Joey Gatewood, wearing the selfish number. He's got good athleticism when it comes to agility and acceleration. Not the highest awareness. He's got less than 2,000 yards passing and only an 18-15 ratio. But he does take off for 797 yards rushing, 61 a game. He might scramble out of the pocket a little bit with that low awareness. We'll be aware of that as a possibility. The impact halfback, really a role for Auburn. They are tailback U. Cam Martin, this year's stud. He's got 1,300 yards rushing, just about 100 yards a game. And he's involved in the passing game with 400 yards, about 30 a game. The backup halfback and starting fullback, Harold Joyner, is hurt, but Devin Barrett has contributed almost 500 yards on the ground in spot duty. The wide receiver core, Darius Slayton and Eli Stove, along with Nate Craig Myers, a good threesome there, 92, 91, 89. Should be better utilized with other teams, but with Auburn's run-centric offense, they don't see the ball a whole bunch, but we expect they'll make good plays when they do. The tight end, marginally involved only to the extent that the receivers are. This is a run-first team, and the offensive line is one reason why. Prince Tega Wanogo Jr., a 90 left tackle. The Nigerian Prince leads the way. An 86 left guard, an 86 center, an 86 right guard, and an 86 right tackle. Give Auburn a strong offensive line that should support that running game. Marlon Davidson, the left end, injured but will play. He's a 92 with 87 strength. His 284 pounds should make running to the right a little bit more difficult than usual. And Daquan Newkirk, an 88 right end with 87 strength as well, 297 pounds. In the middle, Derek Brown, a 93 All-American D tackle, backed up by Coinus Miller. We'll see how often he's on the field. The sophomore 83 has some talent coming up through the ranks. The outside linebackers, athletic in the extreme and good awareness. Middle linebacker is a freshman All-American. He's an 80 freshman redshirt. And Zacoby McLean, an 81 sophomore with good athleticism on the right side. If anything, that's the weak point of the team. They're young, but they're good. The secondary, Javarius Davis is a 92, and Jamel Dean an 88, with Peters an 86, and Geis an 82. All of them with 82 awareness plus. Make for a challenging set of cornerbacks in multiple cornerback sets. Jeremiah Dinson, an 87 senior free safety, and Daniel Thomas, an 88 senior strong safety, round out a solid secondary. This is a team that plays good defense and employs a strong running game. That's a good recipe we'll see if we can hold up. Their special teams unit's pretty good, and we're going to do the best we can to win this game. They're +7 in the turnover differential. We're going to hope to avoid turnovers and hopefully get the win here in this Sugar Bowl. Try to rebound from a loss last week in a heartbreaker. Try to end the season on a high note and finish in the top 5. To give you the play-by-play on tonight's events, we've got Coach Ninja, head coach of the Navy Midshipmen, who I'm going to pass the mic off to now.
All right. Thank you very much, Coach. We are excited to see what happens in this Sugar Bowl matchup between number 4 and number 6, beginning shortly on your live interwebs. Syracuse, with the lower rank, is technically as the away team here. This is the final game for Dungy, Strickland, and a number of other players. Important, central to that orange team. And they want to go out with a bang, but this is going to be tough sledding against an Auburn team that is number 5 in the country, defensive points against. When you do that and you get number 11 in rushing, and even then, between 5 in points against, 11th in rushing, 52nd in offensive points for, that wins you 11 games, 7 of them in the SEC, because you take all the time and you get 27 points to 19, you still win by 10 points. On the other hand, Syracuse is a team that at least on one side of the ball, play shootouts. They get 50.8 points a game. They get 518 yards a game. Number 1 in rush defense because everybody has to chase them, but they still only give up 23.6 points a game on defense. That means they usually double their opponent's score. Yes, you heard that right. They usually double their opponent's score, but this is going to be a tough Auburn team to complete that kind of feat against.
Hi everybody, Reese Davis with you, bringing you the EA Sports NCAA Football 14.
Because in either game, life or football,
Innovation,
the margin for error is so small. I mean, one half a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails.
Dangerous moves there, letting off fireworks inside the Superdome in New Orleans.
When we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's gonna win that inch. And I know if I'm gonna have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch. Because that's what living is. The 6 inches in front of your face. Now I can't make you do it. You gotta look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now I think you're gonna see a guy who will go that inch with you. You're gonna see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're gonna do the same for him. That's a team, gentlemen.
Spanning more than 10 successful seasons and covering the country from California, Ohio, North Carolina, and Virginia, this is League One NCAA football.
Kicking team man gets off of his blocker and stops the return short at the 13. Syracuse is starting the game with the ball here. Dungy in the shotgun, 5 wide receivers, 4 down linemen. Takes a minute for Custis to get open, but he's got great blocking by number 16, Anoisi, and he gets first down. A great example of the start of game ritual for the Syracuse Orange. You can see a unified crowd here. 2 teams that wear white, orange, and navy. It's just in different proportions. Shotgun ace here, 2 tight ends. Single back Strickland comes in motion. Dungy pitches to him quickly, and Strickland cuts up field for 5. Good defensive coverage there of the motion option by Auburn.
From their own 30-yard line. Second down.
Three down linemen now for Auburn. Dungy keeps it and gets hit quickly. He gets a 2-yard gain. It's now 3rd and 3 on the 32-yard line.
Look out this year. He's going to have a better year this year than he even had last year.
And they're going to put 6 DBs on the field to counter that 5-receiver look.
Dungy rolls out. He's looking for space or a person. And they say he gets 3 yards, but they don't give him the first. It's 4th and 1, and that's probably inches. And we see the kicking unit on the field.
Schwartz is back to receive.
The punt's away. It's to the far corner. It gets a good bounce and goes to the 15. That's an excellent punt. The return man was there just a hair short that he didn't dare risk trying to catch that on the run. We'll now see the Orange defense against the Auburn offense. He moves around in the pocket and slides up and out. And he's got tons of speed. And that's an 84-yard QB scramble for a touchdown. That is professional movement in the pocket from number 1.
Sends it sailing downfield. He's to the 10. He's to the 20. And he's shoved out of
Metcalf takes another return. This time it is 33 yards. He gets to the 29.
What their coach talked about, getting off to a great start. The defense did their job, and it's nice to see the offense move the ball down the field and also get some points on the board.
You never like to have to play from behind, but a deficit this manageable shouldn't be in the front of their minds. They just need to go out there and
Shotgun spread, single back is offset, and it is a handoff to Strickland. He eventually gets down after a 9-yard gain. Solid run on first down to make it every coach's favorite down and distance. 2nd and short.
2nd and short. Ball on the 37.
We now see a heavy formation here. And another handoff to Strickland. And with some blocking, he muscles through a 3-yard gain for first down.
The offense is playing intelligent, controlled football. Here, using the safe run to get the first.
Not only getting the first, but I definitely believe setting up future plays. It's now back to the 5 wide as we see both the spread and the traditional heavy as Dungy slides for a 4-yard gain when the coverage was tight on first down.
From their own 44-yard line. Second down.
Shotgun normal. 2nd and 6. James Lofton in the drag route, right to left, gets 2 yards and is immediately out of bounds as he wasn't open really until he got near the border. It's now 3rd and 4 for the Orange. They are also 4 yards short of midfield. First down will put them in enemy territory for the first time this game.
They're going to need about 4. 5 wide.
Custis gets 4 yards and leans forward, and again, they're calling it short. It's 4th and inches, they say this time.
It's 4th down, and they're going to try to go for it.
And they do come out on offense. They're going to go for it, looks like.
The quarterback in the gun.
And Strickland makes the reception.
You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. But you must try. Try and try. Try and try. You'll succeed at last. I know it. Don't I show it? So don't give up now.
There he goes. Gains it way to the
And after the successful 4th down attempt, Eric Dungy has a quarterback keeper on the read option that gets 11 yards, and he spin moves to protect the ball
About anything they want, and they're really starting to wear the
and lean forward.
And this play is number 8 on the drive.
Shotgun split big now. Another quarterback keeper. Dungy keeps it inside and goes up between the center and the guard and gets a 5-yard gain.
Second and 5 coming up here. Ball on the 31-yard line. He makes it to the
Dante Strickland takes the handoff and runs left behind the tight end and blockers, eventually getting 2 yards. It's now 3rd and 3.
play of the drive.
3rd and 3 now. 3 down linemen for the Tigers, and we do have an audible from Dungy. Clock is ticking down. And it's a pass to Lofton, who gets half a yard, and it's 4th and 2 now. 28-yard line. They're going to bring out the kicking team for a 45-yard field goal.
The kick is away. It's long enough.
And the kick is good. It's 3 points on the board. An important set of points for Syracuse Orange to start the game.
Syracuse ready to kick this one off. Excellent kick. And they can forget about returning this one.
Cam Martin takes the handoff and is tackled by Scoop Bradshaw, the cornerback, coming in, making the tackle for a 0-yard gain. It's 2nd and 10 with less than a minute to go in the first. Sal Cannella, 3 yards and out of bounds as he comes out of the backfield for the wide pass. We see the Tigers are hurrying up to 3rd and 7. It's a screen pass on 3rd down. And Cam Martin has the space to get the 9 yards. Is tackled just after the first down marker. And more hurry up from the Tigers. Cam Martin, running laterally, gets 2 yards and is pushed out of bounds when the linebackers meet him out in the flat. An audible here from the Tigers. And Cam Martin is met in the backfield and tackled for a 4-yard loss. It is going to be their second 3rd and long. They've got 4 seconds left in the quarter. We'll see if they make a play. And they don't. With the quarter, it's an opportunity for Syracuse to put a different package on the field this time around.
Quarter number 2. Auburn is up by 4.
On 3rd and 12. And Hill catches the ball. It's an 11-yard reception, but that is not enough on 3rd and 12. And the Tigers are going to come out in a punt formation. Great tackle to stop him short, push him out of bounds. And the Orange don't believe it. They come out in a quarter defense. And that's a good kick. It hits the 10 and goes out of bounds somewhere around the 5, the 4. It's on the 5. This is excellent special teams really from both teams so far. But the defensive stop gives Syracuse the opportunity now to do something on offense down by 4. But they are on their own 5. This is the danger zone. Strickland in motion, left to right. Dungy pitches. Strickland, first down, and about 5 more. Excellent timing by Dungy. Strickland only had the last man to beat, but he couldn't make the move. He got first down plus. It's a 3-3 versus a shotgun normal here. Strickland out of the backfield. He catches it and gets hit immediately, and it jars the ball loose. It's now 2nd and 10. 5 wide formation, dime from the Tigers. Dungy scrambles out. He's got a lot of space in front of him. He gets the first down and goes out of bounds to avoid the tackle. It's his 6th rush of the game. He's got a 7.3 average. That was for about 25.
Ends up with a great run.
From their own 38-yard line, it's first down.
Spread set here this time. Strickland takes the handoff and again gets 9 yards on the spread run on first down.
And that'll be a gain of 9.
Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through. Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through. Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through. Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through.
2nd and 1 now. Every coach's favorite down and distance, and another handoff to Strickland. He decides to cut to the outside this time and makes it over the down line and then gets hit by the closing secondary.
From their own 49-yard line, first down.
Shotgun wide trips now, and we're seeing a 3-3-5 from the Tiger defense at midfield. Dungy has time, doesn't have anybody he likes, and slides down for a 4-yard gain.
Picked up 4 yards on the scramble.
Second and 6, 3 yards short of enemy territory.
2nd and 6 coming up here. Ball on the 47-yard line.
Shotgun ace. Perkins this time out of the backfield, and with the spin move, he changes from going up the middle to trying to break the outside. It gets 14 yards.
He's that good.
And the Orange are now in enemy territory.
From the 33-yard line, first down. Great concentration to hold it in.
Impressive gain there by the
Strickland on a sort of angle curl route. I'll be honest, I don't know the technical term, but has all the space in the world. Catches the ball after checking his watch, and then decides, yeah, I got time, and takes it for the first down.
First down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 21. Makes it out to
And another great first down run by Dante Strickland makes it 1st and goal from the 10.
just found a perfect rhythm, and the defense just hasn't been able to figure out a way to disrupt it.
First and goal now from the 10.
their eyes on that goal line. In the shot.
5 wide receivers for the Orange. Dungy is scrambling, and he gets 2 yards on the ground.
So the quarterback scrambles for about 2 yards on the play.
Tight coverage for all of his looks.
It's
We are 11 plays into this drive, and we have 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in this half. It is 2nd and goal from the 7. Strickland out of the backfield. He dives to make sure he gets it. That's a orange touchdown. And Syracuse, with the stop and then the touchdown, now has a 10-7 lead. Auburn has 3 minutes and 13 seconds and 3 timeouts. That's plenty of time, especially because, as we saw from their first and second possessions, they are fans of pace. Although it looked like this time they're bringing 2 tight ends out onto the field for first down from their own 25, and they're both lined up on the right. And Scoop Bradshaw, shading the go route sideline receiver, puts his hands up and snatches the ball out of the air. And now, with excellent field position, 2 yards out of the red zone, the Orange have an opportunity to get some distance. Dungy doesn't like anything. He scrambles. He's got space. He jukes. He moves 11 yards and tackled to the out of bounds after an 11-yard gain. 1st and 10. Oh, and the pass right by the diving defender. Catch in traffic, Enoisi, the tight end, who snatched it out from in front of the defender and dragged to the feet for the touchdown.
By the power of Grayskull. Became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret.
Boom indeed, Coach Krieg. Boom indeed. And with that, Auburn now has another opportunity to see what they do on offense. They've lost 11 seconds. Oh, no, 41 seconds, 1 timeout, and 7 points. And they try the quick bubble screen, and it takes some tacklers, but Eli Stove is tackled out at the 6-yard line, so it's 2nd and 4. And the handoff is to Cam Martin. He falls forward for most of that 3-yard gain. It is 3rd down and 1. 3rd and short, but that clock's moving. And the option and the pitch. How many guys is it going to take? Green has the angle. Cam Martin gets 27 yards. There was a lot of contact on the wrong side of the ball, but they eventually broke it. It took too many guys, and it's now enemy territory for the Tigers. The handoff to Martin is good for 9 this time, as the Tigers are beginning to get the run game working in their hurry-up offense. Not a planned run this time, but we do see the scramble. And Gatewood gets 14 yards and is tackled, and Auburn calls a timeout with 1:38 on the 15.
We've got a 1st and 10. Ball on the 15.
The handoff is to Barrett this time in the backfield. And he gets 10 yards and another timeout, 1st and goal from the 4.
This is their 3rd first down. They're doing just about anything they want, and they're really starting to wear the psyche of this defense down.
Defense and their short yardage package.
And the pitch is bad. Barry picks it up. That's a scoop. But it's not from Bradshaw, it's from Barry. And that steals points from Auburn. The Orange, they're now on their own 14-yard line. But with 1:30 and a 10-point lead, that's a hell of a play from Barry and the defense. Dungy scrambles out, gets a little bit too far past the line of scrimmage, and gets tackled when he realizes that he can't throw that pass. He scrambles out again this time. This time he knows what he's doing, and it's 2 yards out of bounds. Dare you say? Dare you say, Coach Krieg? I don't know. Dare you? It's now 3rd and 6 on their own 18. There are 1:16 left in this first half. Auburn does have one timeout. The Orange would love to not give them another chance. But they are 3 and 6 on 3rd down. Sure. For it. 0-3. Whatever. And that's a great play to Anoisi, a real floater of a pass to Anoisi, but Anoisi had all the space in the world to catch the ball and get out of bounds on the 4th 3rd down attempt of the game and the first conversion on 3rd down for the Orange, as I use my words correctly this time and will only barely not fail English.
First down, 10 to go. Ball on the 33-yard line.
All right, and we have a shotgun ace. Big Dungy keeps it, breaks outside. He gets a 4-yard gain when the defenders get off the blocks and pursue. We see a hurry up to the line. It's now under a minute with a live clock. Strickland out of the backfield on the angle route. 8 yards secured and down. It is first down now, and 50 seconds. The clock is stopped momentarily.
From their own 45-yard line. First down.
5 wide again.
With 5 wide receivers.
Dungy looking, doesn't like, scrambles.
He's under pressure.
Does he have the space? He's getting pursued by number 3, and he steps out of bounds after a 13-yard gain. He gets the first down and goes out safely, but he exited stage right, pursued by a bear. First and 10 from the 42, and we see Tommy Tanuvasa in the shotgun spread offset. Strickland takes the ball. He gets a 5-yard gain, and the Orange call a timeout.
We'll take a timeout. That's their second of the half.
Now we have 2 chances at third and mark.
Dungy, after getting a shot of oxygen and who knows what else in... You know what? That's not the blue tent. I think that's a cerulean tent that the Syracuse Orange snuck onto the field. But it's now 2nd and 5 for a rejuvenated Dungy after being out for a play. Comes out in the shotgun wide trip, so that's 2nd and 5, 32 seconds and 1 timeout. Dungy scrambles out,
Now he tries to buy some time.
and he throws it away just before he gets hit. It's now 3rd and 5.
Second, trying to make a play downfield, only to have this defense get to him. Got to do a better job maybe feeling things out a little bit, but at least he has the awareness and a toughness to sit in that pocket.
37-yard line with 27 seconds left in the half.
This is the 9th play of this drive.
Shotgun split, all the wide receivers out. Tanuvasa keeps it, pitches it for Perkins at the last minute. Perkins has space and gets pushed out of bounds at the 11.5. A fantastic run on 3rd and 5. A brave play call, but a brilliant success from the Orange.
Everyone I see just walks the walk with gritted teeth, but I just stand by and I wait my time. They say you gotta toe the line, they want the water, not the wine. But when I see the signs, I'll jump on that lightning bolt.
Throws complete. He's got room to work.
And with them scared of the triple option, Dante Strickland comes out of the backfield, dives for his 2nd touchdown of the game, receiving.
It's a scheme when you've got a back who's as good a receiver as this young man is.
Ready, down, put.
Brad, I thought the offense did a really nice job of mixing up the play calling on that drive. I thought the defense was on its heels most of the drive because of the versatility of the offense.
And finally, after 2 turnovers, the Auburn Tigers, who are +7 on turnovers for the year,
Sails out of the end zone for a touchback.
now only have 16 seconds and 1 timeout to see what they can do with it to end the first half. And they go with the run, and it is a 3-yard loss to Cam Martin. And it looks like that's going to be the end of the half as the as the Auburn Tigers elect to go to the half. 24-7 off 2 big takeaways for the Syracuse Orange. I can tell you that to a man, that 70-man roster, not a single one of them has scurvy.
When you have the spectacular high-definition sets that we enjoy here in the studio, it's easy to just watch the ball all the time. How about the precision with which these two offensive lines executed in the first half?
We do watch the ball, but when you watch the ball run down the field 4 or 5 yards without getting touched, you know that somebody's doing a good job, and it's pretty simple. You point to those big 5 ugly guys up front that don't get a lot of recognition because most of the time they have
Go Syracuse indeed, X-Road, and yes, Buttersquatch, so let me clarify. This is our second season on this particular save, but we have had 13 total seasons over one offline dynasty followed by another online dynasty followed by, we decided, you know what, we needed to reset, we needed to change the rules, we decided we wanted to bring everybody back to lower star schools, but over the course of these 13 seasons, we do now have 7 users. We've had a core of 4 of those 7 for the entire 13 season duration. We play 1 week in game is 1 week real time. I don't know the math on that, but 13 seasons times 1 week, you know that we've been doing it for years. As we take a quick look at halftime stats as the coaches adjourn to their locker rooms to make their halftime adjustments. So as you obviously the score 24-7. It is worth noting for those that weren't here for it. Auburn's points are from their very first offensive play of the game. Their quarterback moved in the pocket, slipped a number of, actually really a sack and then a tackle for short gain, and then ran the rest of the way because he has brilliant speed, but they have been stopped short on their other offensive possessions. It is indeed, Buttersquatch, I will say that one of the reasons that we have had the endurance that we have had is that we're all friends in real life. We all know each other in real life, and we're friends, and this is a great thing that keeps us talking to each other, and we enjoy, because we're all friends with each other already. That always gives a leg up in keeping these kinds of things going. The other thing is that we as a group, we've decided we want to make sure that we preserve and look forward to the things that we need to do to keep our league healthy moving forward. That's the reason why, particularly, we have very strict rules about recruiting. You can only sign 15 recruits a season. Only 5 of those guys can be rated 74 or above. Only 2 of your total 15 can be athletes. These are things that make sure that after 3 or 4 or 5 seasons, we have teams that we like. We have teams that do the things that we want to do. We have teams that, particularly myself, like I get a team my team is Navy. We get teams that do the things we want to do. I get halfbacks, I get tight ends, I get the right kind of players. But I don't have a team that absolutely outstrips everybody. And that's a very important thing, is because the computer isn't particularly good at recruiting. We want to make sure that we're limited to being only as good as the computer in both recruiting and in playing the game. We play on very difficult sliders for the same reason. It preserves the long-term health of the game by making everything more difficult and more limited in the short term. As you can see, 4 first downs for Auburn. Again, not a statistic that leads you to believe they are having a healthy game. They are losing on offense by 100 yards. Syracuse, a team that regularly has over 500 yards a game, they're getting to it. They're on track for it, I should say, this game at 265 yards, 69 yards of total offense. But last week against Miami, there was almost 1,300 yards of total offense between both teams, Syracuse and Miami, and we're not on track for that at all this game, as Syracuse is intentionally slowing the game down. Sup, Kadrian? Thank you for joining us. We are at halftime. I'm giving you the halftime updates, so hopefully that'll catch you up nicely for the rest of this game. Rushing is actually similar because it's 168 to 140. The real difference is 101 passing yards to 29 passing yards. Both teams have 2 third down conversions. It's Syracuse that has had 5 attempts instead of 3, and 1 successful 4th down attempt on 4th and short for the Orange. 2 turnovers uncharacteristic of the Tigers, 1 fumble lost in their own red zone, and 1 intercepted that ended up giving the Orange possession on about, I think, their 29. As I said about slowing down the game, time of possession clearly dominant for the Syracuse Orange. And with the teams coming out of the locker room, we're going to return you to the game. This has been the Halftime Stats, brought to you by Dewar's Scotch. Dewar's Scotch. I'm drinking it tonight. Go Orange indeed. Kadrian, I am sure that Coach Spectre is appreciative of all of the enthusiasm from everyone in the audience as he takes on the number 4 ranked Auburn Tigers. And having deferred at the coin flip, the Tigers come out on offense to begin the third. They hand it off to Martin. He dodges the first tackle in the backfield. The second slows him down, and the third stops him. It's now 2nd and 9. And they do an outside run again. He gets 9 yards this time, but it is called short of the first down marker. It's 3rd and inches as we see the Tigers hurry up. Buttersquatch, I am Coach Ninja. I'm actually the coach of the Navy midshipmen, giving you play-by-play as Coach Spectre plays against Auburn and gets burned on 3rd down. Eli Stove running 65 yards for the touchdown. That's another thing that we do. We don't commentate our own games because that adds a degree of difficulty that is unfair to those coaches who do not stream on Twitch. But we like to do it. We're glad to have you. Buttersquatch. He was one of the guys who was asking questions earlier. I just wanted to give him some more information, let him know if he wanted to ask any other questions. I was here, and that he would not be distracting me from trying to win the game because I'm the play-by-play guy. I am not the guy playing the game.
Couldn't have imagined things to go this well. They've scored 24 points in a row.
Sorry, he asked me a few questions before you showed up, Kadron.
We're about set to start things up.
And now with a 10-point lead, the Orange come back onto the field. And Strickland takes it and gets another first down out of the spread run.
Move up the side and let the man go through. Let the man go through. Move up the side and let the man go through. Let the man go through. Move up the side and let the man go through. Let the man go through. Move up the side and let the man go through. Let the man go through.
Dungy scrambles out. He gets space. He's running down the sideline, and he takes a couple of extra. He gets a 21-yard rush.
Everyone I see just walks the walk with gritted teeth, but I just stand by and I wait by time they say you gotta toe the line. They want the water, not the wine, but when I see the signs, I'll jump on that lightning bolt.
Shotgun spread. Halfback is offset once again. A productive formation so far this game, as Tanuvasa this time is the one that hands off to Strickland, and Strickland gets another great 9-yard gain.
Short yardage situation here. It's 2nd down and 1.
Second and 1 now. Every coach's favorite down and distance. Dungy now in the I formation. A heavy set and a handoff for Strickland, who gets a 4-yard gain as the Orange are moving the ball downfield methodically on the ground.
They're doing just about anything they want, and they're really starting to
First down. Here's an opening, and he carries the ball for a nice gain.
Second and 3, the read option gets first down. It's now 1st and 10 on the 15-yard line for the Syracuse Orange, almost halfway, I should say, through
From the 15-yard line.
the third quarter.
First down.
We see 2 tight ends now. And Perkins in the backfield this time gets the 5-yard catch. It's 2nd and 5.
From the 10-yard line, it's 2nd down.
2nd and 5 from the 10. We see a flex bone now. Dungy And Perkins comes in motion. Dungy keeps it. He gets across the line. That's a 6-yard gain.
Syracuse with a first and goal and a big opportunity to
First and goal from the 4.5. Shotgun Y trips against a 3 down lineman, and Strickland with his 3rd receiving touchdown of the game.
When the East is in the house.
Oh my God.
When the East is in the house.
Oh my God.
When the East is in the house.
Oh my God.
When the East is in the house.
Oh my God.
When the East is in the house.
Oh my God.
When the East is in the house.
Oh my God.
When the East is in the house.
Oh my God.
When the East is in the house.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And he tacks on the extra point. A 9-play, 76-yard drive, and they put up 7 points. So the score now, 31-14. They line up to kick this one away. He just drills this one. And they can forget about returning this one. Syracuse coaches just got to be happy. I'd love to coach a kid like this.
Oh, I think these coaches love to coach a guy like this, and another great performance by him individually and for this offense.
These guys came up with a touchdown on their last drive, and they'll be hoping for another 6 on the board here.
As long as this quarterback has time to throw.
The Orange have extended their lead again and forced Graywood out of the pocket. He dodges a couple of tackles, but this time gets stopped short. An 8-yard gain on the scramble. Well, okay, John, that would be because the coaches of Syracuse and Navy live about 20 minutes away from each other, whereas many of the other teams are located much, much further away. So it's difficult to get into the same place, to have 2 people in the same place for those games. Additionally, in order to stream from an Xbox 360 or a PS3 for that matter, you need to have what's known as a capture card, which is a piece of physical hardware that you plug in between. Rather than plugging your Xbox directly into your TV, you plug the Xbox into the capture card, which plugs into the TV. And that's a device that, depending on whether or not it's on sale, runs between $120 to $80. Like it's, $120 to $80. As Martin takes the handoff and gets the first down, as all the space was there. So, this is something where Coach Spectre and I have the technical assets. We've got a good computer and an investment in the hardware to be able to stream it. That is not necessarily true of everybody else. Not that they should. It's just that it'd be unreasonable to expect that of everybody. The reason actually that we started streaming was so that we could provide game tape to the rest of the league. That's the primary purpose still of our streams, is to make sure that we provide game tape of difficult and interesting games like the Sugar Bowl between Syracuse and Auburn. As we see another handoff to Martin, and this time he gets stopped for a loss in the backfield. The speed coming around seems to be the effective way that the Orange are stopping the run this game rather than stopping it up front. They need to have the second man come around from behind. Motion from left to right. And he dodges a couple of guys himself and gets 12 yards to make it 3rd and 1. And now we see a split formation from the Tigers. And they make the pitch to Nye, who gets tackled out of bounds after a 6-yard gain for first down. Spencer Nye getting the first down. Fullback number 2. Fullback 1 is hurt. Handoff to Martin up the gut and has all the blocking in the world. 19-yard touchdown. And Auburn are going to reel it back within 10. After 2 big turnovers and points off turnovers for Syracuse in the first half, it's been punch and counterpunch so far in the third. Metcalf deep in the end zone elects to let it go out the back.
I think the big thing you're seeing right now is just the way they're playing with confidence, especially the quarterback. I think they are very, very confident with every play call that it has a chance to be able to move the football down and continue to be able to put points up on the board.
They ran the ball very well on their last.
And it is now the Orange's opportunity to respond. They come out in spread offset, one of their most successful formations so far this game. And Peters jumps the route, the drag coming right to left, and that's a pick 6, and draws it within 3.
Here's the extra point to draw within 3 points. He makes the PAT.
And just a few seconds later, Syracuse are going to get another attempt.
Sends it sailing downfield.
After that, quick pick 6. Schumacher makes it through the first layer. He's having guys drop behind him, and a brilliant run by Schumacher extends the lead back to what it was just a few seconds ago. 107. It's going to give Auburn the ball back, but extends Syracuse's lead back to 10. They needed that badly.
Everyone I see just walks the walk with gritted teeth, but I just stand by and I wait my time. They say you gotta toe the line, they want the water, not the wine, but when I see the signs, I'll jump on that lightning bolt.
He sends this one deep.
Hofrichter puts it out the back of the end zone, and now Auburn is down by 10 points again. It's 1:14 to go in the third.
Right adjustments at halftime. The staff got together and made the adjustments, and this quarterback and
And this is an opportunity for the Orange defense to do what they did in the second.
There's got to be some sense of urgency to this offense right now. They don't have the luxury of wasting drives if they want to get back in the game.
And the deep pick play to Craig Myers requires help from the secondary after a 39-yard run. Sorry, catch and run. Their number 3 wide receiver, still an 89. Very good, especially with that much that time in the pocket. And that particular set of two guys running down sides, they got picked. But it comes right back with a 4-yard loss on Cal Martin. It's now 2nd and 14 on the 41-yard line. Syracuse Orange hoping to force Auburn out of points here. The rush forces the throw to the check down. Sal Canella gets a 4-yard catch but makes it 3rd and long. The first 3rd and long for the Tigers since the first half. And we get a timeout from the Syracuse Orange. The Orange deciding they've had enough of this hurry up, and they want to stop them on 3rd. And Green, with a great move, comes through and gets the sack on 3rd. That timeout worth every penny. You can see everybody on the Syracuse sideline saying, yup, you got to spend money to make money. It's 4th and 17 from the 43. That sack forces the punt instead of the long field goal. And that punt is deep, and it gives a touchback. That gives a touchback to Syracuse. Adds a hell of a lot better field position than a lot of people would have expected from a punt from the 41, as they start on their own 20. It is now the 4th quarter. Read option. The Tigers finally keyed on the quarterback after a lot of success from that read option. The handoff to Strickland gets 5 yards up the middle. The hot hand Strickland. This time it's not an option, it's a halfback give. He gets 4 yards falling forward. It's 3rd and 1. Out of the heavy set this time, the handoff to the fullback, Tyrell Richards. He gets 6 yards and 5 more than he needed. That's 1st down. It's on the 35-yard line now. First and 10, and we see the return of the 5 wide set for the Orange.
Quarterback in the gun, 5 wide receivers.
Dungy scrambles out. He's past the line of scrimmage, makes a dodge, and gets out of bounds. That's a 17-yard gain. That 4 verticals, Dungy's been looking for it all game, and it hasn't been there yet. But with the ability to get a 17-yard rush out of it, he's okay. And that puts the Orange once again into enemy territory. And the D tackle comes off his block and tackles Strickland after a 1-yard gain, finally cutting on to the spread run. But almost halfway through the fourth. Dungy scrambles out. Lots of space running down the sideline and decides to go out of bounds after 35 yards when, you know, it's like, oh, no, now they want to tackle me. I'll go out of bounds. We're done here.
First and 10. Let's see if they can build off that great run.
First and 10 now from the 12. We're approaching the halfway mark. Strickland takes the handoff and with a move gets 8 yards.
He tops 100 yards on the ground with that
103 yards for Strickland, more than 100 yards for Dungy. It's 2nd and 2 from the 4. Shotgun Y trips from the orange. And Dungy is picked by the linebacker. It's now an even turnover battle. Auburn now on their own 13-yard line, down by 10 points. They've got a shade under 4 minutes, 3 timeouts with which to make this a game. And team tackling stops Cam Martin after 3 yards.
Yeah, it was a short gain, but a nice tackle there by the senior corner who came in from the outside and made a nice play.
Quarterback keeper, 2 yards, making it 3rd and 5. Slayton, beating man coverage, gets 12 yards and the first down. He's tackled immediately. That is the 8th passing attempt of the game for the Tigers. And that's a 2-yard gain on the scramble after dodging the sack.
Just under 3 to go in regulation.
The screenplay, and Green has a good read and messes it up. It is now 3rd and a mile.
Third down again.
Live clock, 2:20. Green gets the sack. A huge sack on third down, back into the danger zone for the Tigers.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone, and another one gone, another one bites the dust. Hey,
This forces a punt with a live clock under 2 minutes.
Green fields it at the 35. Tries to get around the corner. Brought down at the 45.
Green with a 20-yard return into enemy territory.
One thing you can always count on with this team is a great defensive performance. I think you and I and everybody today got to be shocked to see these guys, how bad they played on that side of the football.
The offense will take the field, hoping for better results.
Auburn is down by 10, minute 47. Syracuse has one timeout. Auburn has 3. Custis on the drag route, tackled short. Forward progress is 9 yards. 2nd and 1, every coach's favorite, down and distance.
And allowing his receiver to come up with a nice gain.
It's second down now, and they're just a few feet away from that first down marker. Just
And that
under 2 to
causes Auburn to burn their first timeout. The handoff to Strickland for a 7-yard gain costs them their second.
Tigers use their second timeout.
And the read option to Dungy
He's at the 20.
gets an 11 yards, a first down. Auburn spends their last timeout. Syracuse is 1st and 10 on the 18 with a minute 34.
From the 18
They don't need to do anything,
down.
but they come out on
They
offense.
hope to create another red zone turnover.
Handoff is to Strickland.
That's a great
He gets 3 yards.
3-yard gain by the running back.
That was a great hit by the defender. He just drove the ball carrier right to the ground.
This has been a particularly dominant game on the ground for the Orange. Some of that's been through
From the 15-yard line.
the scramble. Some of that's been through the fact that coming out in the spread and handing it off to Strickland has been money the entire game. And some of that's been off of the read option being productive, whether it was a keeper or a handoff. But the story of the game is the fact that for a team that prides themselves as halfback U, as a running team first, Auburn has been hit or miss on the run. Really, really big gain or stopped short or stopped for loss. Whereas the consistent production on the run, including the scramble, was on the Syracuse side of the ball. And that's what gave them the space and the freedom of action to keep moving the ball down the field, doing the things that they want to do, and it puts them at less than 20 seconds at 3rd and 3 with all the freedom in the world to say, yeah, no, we'll wait and we'll do whatever, and we'll do what we want and kick a field goal to end the game with a live clock less than 15 seconds. And with zeros finally on the clock, it is a 41-28 game. The Tigers brought it back in the third quarter, but it was the second and the fourth that were dominant for the Syracuse Orange, and really the first quarter was pretty much a wash. So if you win 2 quarters to the other guy winning 1 quarter, as long as you're making sure you get points, that's a way to win games, and that's what Syracuse did tonight. They end the season at 13-1. winners of the Sugar Bowl. They're going to go into next season with good ranking. It's a hell of a game for Strickland and Dungy. It's their final game as seniors. Who knows? They might show up for the Senior Bowl. Maybe they think, you know what, I've already got my draft position locked up. I'm not going to risk an injury. We'll see what happens. But overall, a good game. A couple of explosive plays for Auburn, but enough contained from Syracuse for the rest of the game to get the 13-point win. Thank you for joining us. This has been bowl season of League 1, Season 13. We will return probably in 2 weeks with the first games of our 14th season. We, of course, have to get through all of the off-season before that. That's going to take us at least 2, if not 3 weeks. Twice as many runs as passes. More than that, in large part because of the scrambles out of passing calls by Dungy, means 328 yards, but 328 rushing yards, but 0 rushing touchdowns for the Orange, which is a funny number in and of itself. Yeah, how often do you throw for 127 and 4 touchdowns? 16 for 20. A tough game, 3 for 7 on third down, 42%, arguably difficult for the Orange. What really mattered was the ability to get turnovers and get good field position so that the times they were taken to third didn't matter. And a dominant time of possession, 23 minutes to just over 9. Thank you. Is there anything else we want to look at? 20 and 19, except I would say at least half of Dungy's carries were pass calls.
Which means we dedicated the game plan to Strickland. We were focused on getting him.
Well, very clearly after the first quarter, you knew that they were giving you Strickland. Whether it was Strickland in the run or Strickland in the pass, they were always giving you Strickland. And when you asked when you asked for other things and knew that the scramble was your first option, you generally had to scramble. But I think the offensive performance was the story of them giving you Strickland in the scramble. The defensive performance was being really good consistently on defense. There was a couple of explosive plays, but everything else was bottled up really good.
We shut them down on defense when we really needed to.
Mm-hmm.
In the second and the fourth.
Yeah.
When it was crunch time, our defense responded.
Absolutely.
They gave us some big plays otherwise. But 21 nothing in the second.
And with the
Monster second quarter.
With the other losses, I know that number 3 LSU lost. There's the utmost confidence for finishing not only in the top 5 but possibly the top 4 for the Syracuse Orange. Maybe even third, given the fact that number 3 lost and they just beat number 4. There's a reasonable shot at third, and depending on how far number 2 drops in the national championship, who knows? 13 and 1? 13 and 1 is a dominant performance. So, thank you for joining us, and we will see you all in Season 14, 2, maybe 3 weeks. We'll let you know. We got a lot of work to do to prepare for next season. Thank you for joining us. As always, Happy New Year. Have a great week. Kick its ass.